never heard of a killer. I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
So I said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
One, two, three, four.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are across the world, whoever's tuning in, whether you're tuning in on the live or you're tuning in on the replay. Listen, I am coming through to make this video because I want to talk about these Diddy sympathizers. In particular, I'm going to be speaking about two content creators on the YouTube platform. We know we have to define that. What's up, Jay Snake the Gray? We have to define that now because LeakYou is on several platforms, right? And so when I'm speaking on content creators that I'm referring to in this video today, I'm talking about YouTubers, all right? And the two YouTubers that I'm going to highlight here is Chyna Brim and the HOK. Yes, the House of Consciousness, Sonetta. Now, we'll get to talking about that in a minute. I find it interesting, though, that people, will allow others to come onto their platform, such as HOK. They allow a man named Reggie to come on their platform, do a whole live stream, pretty much capping for Sean Diddy Combs, okay? Donnie. Capping for Diddy. And then suddenly the videos just disappear, right? The videos just seem to disappear. Now, I stay with receipts and all of that. And I do have screen recordings and screenshots of this video that has since been taken down. But let me tell you, you Diddy sympathizers can seriously go suck a fat one, okay? You can suck a fat one. There's no way on God's green earth that I'm going to sit here and act like there's not over 100 people that have now sued Diddy since all of these allegations came out. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I haven't heard all the rumors for 20-umpteen plus years, like all of you. Okay. I'm also not going to sit up here and pretend like I didn't see Diddy whoop Cassie's ass on video that was then later sold. All right. I'm not going to pretend Like, I'm not aware of sex tapes that have been being sold for years under Diddy. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if there was a revenue stream that Diddy tapped into when it came to these sex tapes. I'm being completely honest with you about that. And the reason I say that is because Diddy made a huge, valiant effort to record these orgies, these freak-offs, these sex parties from every angle possible. I guess no one paid attention when the federal government stated that they have over 90 plus devices, including laptops, phones, tablets, cloud storage accounts. Hello, do you hear me? Knock, knock, knock. Cloud storage accounts. We're talking about terabytes of data. I heard it was 30 plus terabytes of data. Video files, when they're being recorded, can be quite hefty, and they only get bigger with time. That's why our hard drive space that gets sold out here, is bigger. It's normal to have, a 10 terabyte drive. I can eat through 10 terabytes of space, Emmanuel, just by myself. All right. I'm a heavy data user. I have cloud storage accounts. I got hard drives upon hard drives upon hard drives upon hard drives. All my videos get downloaded. Sometimes I may do an hour live stream, and depending on how much data I may be putting on screen or whatever the case may be, I could have a video easy 3, 4, 5 gigs. Easy. It's really easy to do. That's why to us, 16 gig hard drives ain't shit anymore these days. I remember when a 16 gig, 32 gig, 64 gig hard drive was the thing, right? When I buy a phone, I buy the one with the largest size. I got to have a matching cloud storage account with it, because I promise you, I'm going to use all of the space up. Some would call it memory, but it's not really memory. All right. But some would call it the amount of memory left on their phones, but it's really the amount of hard drive space. Memory is a completely different piece of hardware that goes into computer devices. I know, Emmanuel, right? 256 gigs ain't shit these days. I'll eat through 256 gigs just by syncing up a new phone. I'll be out of space day one. But I've heard over 30 terabytes. Okay. Now a terabyte is 1024 gigs. All right. It's a 1024 gigabytes, meaning a lot of you aren't even walking around with devices and phones and drives that are even at, 1 terabyte alone. Usually it comes in, 32, you can get lower sizes or whatnot, but petabytes is the thing now, right? A petabyte is 1024 terabytes, right? A terabyte is 1024 gigabytes. So yeah, 256 gig is on such the low end these days. And so when we're talking about, hard drive space and space on cloud storage accounts, listen, Diddy had his own IT person. That IT person is going to be instrumental to the federal authorities when that trial comes a-knocking. I promise you. When I tell you that a personal IT director to a celebrity, I'm pretty sure they have to sign all sorts of NDA agreements and other type agreements to ensure their non-disclosure of things. Because listen, an IT director for any celebrity is going to have all the passwords to all the accounts. They're going to know every single cloud storage account there is out there, every hard drive there is. Guarantee there was no way that Diddy was recording all of that footage and not pushing it through a single source. Meaning he could have had 10 cameras in a room. All of those cameras are going to be recording to one single source. No one's going to want to go to 10 different sources or, like, you know, for example, 10 different cloud storage drives to obtain video from one room. They're going to make sure all of those 10 cameras are recording to the same storage device, right? So we're talking about someone who made a valiant effort to record every single thing going on in those parties from every angle. Okay. Now, let me talk a little bit about Chyna Brim really quick. And I'm going to show you a little clip here. Pathetic, sir. Now, I seen in Chyna Brim a long time ago, questionable just questionable things, right? When it comes to, and I'm going to be honest, when it comes to especially the Diddy topic and the sexual assault of women and men, okay? Chyna Brim had very questionable retort or things to say anytime, someone started going down that rabbit hole when talking about Diddy. And again, I say all this because Chyna Brim lives his life public, right? He wants to be famous. He wants to be a household name. I don't think he's like a full-on household name for every single household in America, but he's fairly known. So again, when you make yourself a public figure, your opinions will be called into question. You will be questioned about your opinion on things when you are so voiceful with it. And when I say voiceful, listen, this is what I mean when I say voiceful.
That don't even make sense.
I'm not wilding. I believe Diddy is definitely disgusting, bro.
He disgusting for,
he used his power
for the Diddy parties. He disgusting. I'm with you on that. I'm not gonna stand here and allow a nigga on TV who probably don't even like the black man and who want to see the black man drag the black man.
Oh
the
my
only people
God!
who's dragging
Yo, can we get
us.
off that? I'm just sick of that.
Sick of
I'm
what?
sick of hearing the
black card. That meaning black men and women pulling the race card. Listen, everybody ain't lying on Diddy. Everybody's not lying on Diddy. And let me just say real quick, Harlem Legend TV, man, shout out to you for standing on your convictions, right? Now, again, I'm just a spectator here watching this, right? And so naturally, being a spectator, naturally being a content creator myself, I'm going to voice my opinion. Shout out to Harlem Legend TV for standing on his convictions, even with the Africa Bambaataa situation. I've noticed Chyna Brim had commentary, I should call it rhetoric, that just didn't make any sense to me. Questionable. It makes one question you. I'm going to be honest with you, Chyna Brim. Makes one question you and your morals. But yes, the black card, the race card that so many of you, black men and women, will pull when times get tough. And I can absolutely say it, okay? I'm half black. And I think being mixed in America, all right, we experience racism from white folks and black folks. I wish I could say it wasn't that way, but unfortunately it is. And the more that I've been out here doing content, especially on YouTube, I have experienced a lot of racism from black people. And this is the number one thing that they'll throw my way. Not every black person, but this is the number one thing I'll hear. Oh, your skin tone, it's white, right? Well, okay. If I tell you that your skin tone is, black as fuck, you'd have a problem with that, right? Okay. It doesn't matter what our skin tone is at the end of the day. And I'm not talking about police brutality or any of those very important issues in which skin tone is an issue, even for me, even for other mixed individuals out here. But I'm no stranger to calling out white folks for their racism or black people for their racism. And I'm telling you, Chyna Brim, that race card that you play is tired, worn out, trash, garbage. The next question I have is, why do you defend Diddy so much? What is it with you? What is it with you in your defense of Diddy and Africa Bambaataa? I'm just curious. One doesn't want to think that it's because your moral compass is so corrupted that it's okay in your mind if minors are having sex with grown-ass men. I remembered a comment that Chyna Brim stated a while back regarding Africa Bambaataa and teenage boys, which, again, if you've done any research on Africa Bambaataa, you will come across the fact that Africa Bambaataa has been accused of violating several teenage boys. Shout out to Hip Hop Stands with Survivors, the organization. They have spent due diligence exposing Africa Bambaataa to the fullest. An entire 30-page report, a very detailed analysis, which I've done a part 1 on and will be finishing up this weekend on a part 2. We've actually been going through and reviewing that detailed report. I mean, if one just did some research, right? Again, it makes one question whether or not your morals are corrupted or if you're just doing it to be controversial. See, that's the other thing we have to keep in mind. There are, so-called influencers out here, people that have a larger following that will do and say things for the controversy of it and enjoy the lambasting that they then later get after they speak their opinion, right? But again, that race card is played out.
Man with the
No, you
man.
want to know why? You want to know why? Because you are built power.
These dudes is committing crimes.
I'm sorry.
Like the white man.
Here's the other thing that it makes me wonder. Does Chyna Brim have some relationship with Diddy or something? Was he trying to get a record deal?
You don't understand it. Listen, hold on.
Everybody's committing crimes, brother. Stop it, brother. We got another call, Chyna. We got another call.
God.
We got
This
another
guy
call.
is crazy, man. I swear,
Salute.
man.
Welcome to 05 Voter Movement. State your claim.
And he's saying it with a straight face, which is
Chyna,
a trip
calm
to
your
me.
butt down. This is Seven Rain. You got to calm down.
How
He's
you doing,
all
baby?
over the place. Go ahead.
He's just all over the place. Okay, then listen. You know I'm from the BK. You know I'm much older than you guys. You know I'm like almost 60. So I was around when all this was all going on. I'm going to tell you straight up. Everybody can say whatever they want to say. This was rumored back then in the early 90s. It's been rumored for the longest, Chyna. So it can't be a lie. Diddy is always known to do these kind of antics. Yes, this was a thing back then. You got to accept it. It was a thing. I've said this repeatedly on different platforms. This was a thing with drugging women back then. This is how niggas was getting down. You know, so you was told if you was somebody, you knew not to travel in them circles with them niggas. You couldn't trust what they was doing.
I want to ask you something. What you saying, is that a belief system or that's a fact? Was you there? Was you there?
Chyna. Yes,
no,
Chyna.
You don't know. Somebody in Brooklyn told you that.
I was out here, Chyna. I was partying with these
Rain, I love you. I love you, Rain.
I love
I'm not going to let you sit here and just say what you want to say.
It's not about being a black man. It's about what he's doing.
And he didn't what you talking about.
Females. He was doing this with males.
Oh,
you understand that?
This is
doing it with males as well. He was promising Becky deals. And this was a practice. It wasn't just him. Y'all you got to knock it off, Chyna. This was a practice. They sold this out. I'm not saying Diddy.
Man, listen, I got to have a lot of respect for Harlem Legend TV because he can sit there with someone of an opposing opinion and he stays cool, calm, and collected. I, for one, can appreciate that. I don't know if I could do it, though. I'm going to be honest with you. I just have a particular dislike for people that violate others in a sexual manner, people that drug people, okay, with horse tranquilizers and other drugs, someone who's dropping GHB in champagne bottles, has marked champagne bottles, all right? Someone who we've heard for umpteen years. How many years can you all sit back and think of that you've been hearing about the infamous Diddy accusations? And when I say that, you all know what I mean. You all know that Diddy has been a weird freak for years. Shine did 10 years in prison for a crime that Sean Combs committed. He is a weasel. All right. I don't know why he's being put up to some high standard. Oh, I do. It's his high place, right? And his high friends in high places. What is it? What is it that has you Diddy sympathizers defending him? I don't understand. Can we get some understanding on that and stop using the race card, right? When you come out and you justify your position. Please. It's more than that. Do you know how many black men and women Sean Diddy Combs violated? Does that mean shit, Chyna? Reggie? Because you was over there capping over on the House of Consciousness channel. Well, let me see. When was that? Was it yesterday or the day before? Let me pull my information here. When was that? Yeah, it was day before yesterday. Late in the evening, matter of fact. Over 100 people came out on Tuesday, right? That lawyer came, stood before the world, and told us all that over 120 plus lawsuits were being individually filed against Diddy. For one, that's a lot of fucking work. For two, we're not talking about a class action lawsuit here. Individual lawsuits, including people that claim they were minors and were violated by Diddy. Now, LeakYou, do you think that every single accuser is telling the truth? Listen, there's absolutely the possibility, and I know of one just off the top of my head, that there are some baked here or there that are not being 100% honest and may be trying to hit a payday. Okay? I acknowledge that. But everybody ain't lying on Diddy. Again, he violated black women, black men. If we're going to play the race card. What is your response on that? Salute to you, Third Eye.
Created this. I'm telling you, Diddy sold his soul. These are rituals that he has to do in order to rise to fame. This is what you do. Remember?
So letting kids brush you off is they gonna let you be famous for that.
And
that doesn't make sense. Okay? That doesn't make any sense what you're saying. Your retort, you're going to need to think a little bit harder about your retorts, especially when you are defending Sean Combs. Okay? He didn't get famous from letting kids do anything sexually to him. Okay? You're good, Emmanuel. Sean Combs is a degenerate fuck who sexually violated men and women. And it's also being alleged that he violated children as well. There's too many people making these accusations. And listen, I remember when Cassie first came out, right? I remember when Cassie first came out and filed her lawsuit against Diddy, Sean Combs. That day, when she filed, there was several people that were making videos, as they do, and were defending Diddy. I'm going to call one out. Slim Thug, right? But then, 5 months later, a video drops. And on this video, Sean Combs is beating the brakes off of that woman. What was that woman doing? Trying to get the fuck away from him in a hotel room during a freak off. She didn't want to be engaged in the freak off. He proceeds to beat her and drag her, trying to get her dragged back into the room. He paid the hotel to destroy the video evidence. So it's funny to me how you all eat your words when you are irresponsible in the things that come out of your mouth. Because to me, I just feel like this is just straight irresponsible. Now, again, Reggie over there, he seems to also be a sympathizer. And I'm talking about the HOK. Now, listen, Sonetta allows these people to come up on his platform and do these video streams from it. So he gets the heat too. But, there's a video that was over there, that was done over there, like I said, day before yesterday, the same day that this lawyer came out and did a presser and told the world that there was 100 plus more accusers. Reggie was over there literally trying to cap for Diddy. And I dropped down in the chat and I made a couple of statements in the chat. Number one, that there's over 100 people and you're talking about women lying on men. It's very embarrassing. And I cannot do this with you, Diddy defenders. It's pathetic. Told him I was going to dislike the video because it was some bullshit. And that he was defending Diddy. And he referred to me as he. I said, no, I'm not a he, I'm a she. If you claim to be a thought leader, then you need to be exposed. See, what ends up happening is people's tart ass commentary, defense of crazy shit that makes no sense makes people side eye you. The one making the statements. And then I also proceeded to tell Reggie in that HOK chat I'd be unsubscribing from the channel. It goes to you, Sonetta, as well. Unsubbing. I'm not going to be a part of no bullshit like that. Blatant bullshit. Okay. It's blatant bullshit.
You
They were
believe
selling
that?
the tape.
But
They
listen,
were
everybody has a right to their opinion, right? And no matter how unpopular that opinion may be, and no matter how ridiculous one may feel that opinion is, people are entitled to their opinions. At least we don't currently live in a country, at least as of now, where you get systematically dropped for speaking an opinion, meaning government, killing their people because they have an opinion. And we're not there yet. I feel like we're getting there. I feel like with social media, Biden's intervention, so to speak, several times with social media companies trying to control narratives based on videos people are doing is a bunch of bullshit. It gives me Russia vibes and state-controlled media. It gives me China vibes. It gives me Myanmar vibes, okay? There are countries out there where you cannot criticize the government. You cannot speak openly the way that we do here in America, but it's tightening up. A couple of years back, I want to say 3 or 4 years back when COVID hit, the summer that COVID hit, there was this huge push, right, to get people vaccinated. It was so crazy that a vaccination was even available. How did they come up with this so fast? And I've never been a proponent of being vaccinated against COVID. I've never received a COVID vaccination to this day, in this 2024. I've never been tested for COVID. I don't think I've ever had it. But there was one time I suspected that I did, possibly. But I look at it like, thank God my body is strong enough to fight it off. But I'm not about to put no vaccination in my arm with no booster 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 times. People are still getting it. The C-19 after being vaccinated. And expressing this opinion got me banned on YouTube for 7 days. And it wasn't just me. It was others. You see, Biden and his administration contacted Google's YouTube arm, as well as other social media companies. And they haven't had so much luck on Twitter, right? But YouTube caved, Google caved to the Biden administration and agreed to remove content on the platform that was against vaccinations. Matter of fact, if you talk too much about C-19 and vaccinations and even where C-19 allegedly came from, videos were pulled, and it was a strikeable offense that was not winnable with an appeal. And I caught one of those. And then there was a news article that came out in which this, intervention by Biden and his administration into social media companies to control the narrative on C-19, they got some bad press for that. I don't always agree with Elon Musk and some of the things that he does, but the one thing I will say about the Twitter platform, X, formerly Twitter, I should say, it feels like I have more freedom of speech on the X platform, more than Google, more than YouTube. I feel like I have a pretty decent freedom of speech on the Rumble platform as well. But Facebook and YouTube, Instagram, it's heavily controlled. And the scary thing is we do have government officials trying to control narratives of videos that are being put out by vloggers, independent vloggers such as myself. And when we are being struck, we're having accounts terminated, all kinds of stuff. And there's no way to appeal it. There's no way to, do anything. And listen, I want to give while I'm sitting here talking about COVID and C19, hold that thought. And you all listen. If you only knew what I went through with that dog last night. I was up at 3 o'clock this morning, folks, bathing him. You want to know why I was up at 3 in the morning bathing my best friend Biscuit, who you just heard barking in the background there? Let me tell you, he gets whatever he wants, okay? He is spoiled. This is a little intermission here. He's spoiled. He's controlling. He's bossy. And this year, I've had a bit of an issue with skunks on a property that, yes, Donnie. Donnie knew exactly what I was going to say, because this ain't the first time. You see, I live deep in the country, right? And I'm on a pretty large piece of property that I bought a couple years back. And 3 times in 2024, my dog has been sprayed by a skunk. We have an influx of skunks that have a trail through my property. They have a trail that they walk from, I would say, about 8, 9 o'clock at night until about 5 or 6 in the morning. And old Biscuit, he ran up on one about 3 o'clock this morning. He ran up on that skunk, and that skunk stood on business. Do you know how horrible and awful it is for it to be like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? You go out for whatever reason, whether you're taking the dog out to use the bathroom or whatever, and then they get sprayed by a skunk. Do you realize that the smell of a skunk, the spray is oily and it singes your nose? And if you have a sensitive nose like I do, you taste what you smell, right? Well, just think about that for a minute. I don't know if I want any more skunky 420 after this, I'm just so over it. I'm so over it. And so now I have to enact a new law. The new law is that Biscuit cannot go outside unleashed after dark. That's the law. How do you get that skunk smell off of them? What do you use? Well, listen, I was grateful. Well, I was thankful. I'm thankful, but I was lucky last night when he got sprayed that it wasn't like a direct. He definitely got some of the oil on him, but it wasn't like a direct, like all of the skunk juice on him. Now, 2 or 3 months ago, he got sprayed so bad right on the forehead. He had an oily yellow spot there, and it didn't matter what I did. I still smelled it for about 3 weeks. I still smelled it for about 3 weeks. The other problem, though, with skunk is they are rabid. Some of them can be rabid. So hopefully, if you do live in the country like I do, your dogs have their rabies shot. And listen, I'm not trying to go too far into nonsense, but I do want to say this since I'm thinking about it. You all, you know that a dog only needs 1 rabies shot per lifetime, right? Cats and dogs. When you move to like another location or place and you get a new vet, don't get a new round of shots. There are animals that are dying from vaccinations. Over vaccinations is the word. But I said all that because we are talking about vaccinations and C19 and YouTube control. The government definitely has more of a relationship with Google and Facebook, more control, I should say, than they do with like X. They definitely have no control with TikTok, which is why they're moving to ban it. It will be banned officially as of January if TikTok does not do some very specific things that the government has asked for them to do. They want, TikTok to completely dismantle from China. But again, China has their own social media platforms. They ban things like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. They have their own versions of these platforms that are state run. You can't just go on social media, do a video, and just say, something detrimental against the Chinese government. You can't even go into the country of China and expect to really get access to like American resources online. For example, if I did a business trip over to China, I'd be lucky if I was able to even read my email, if my mailbox for my email is stored outside of China. They have an entire firewall system that completely firewalls them from the rest of the internet. That's why they have so much control. There are some answers like VPN and things like that, but they're getting pretty good with being able to block those type of connections too. But anyway, we're talking about free speech. We're talking about expressing opinions. And I, for one, am glad that I do live in a place where an opinion can be expressed. But when you do express said opinion behind the bar, how you doing? You know it. When you do express your opinion, we as content creators have a right to also express our opinion about your opinion. And I think Chyna Brim is all kinds of wrong here. I think it's really weird and questionable. And I wonder again, what is driving that? It can't be it's the black man being taken down card for 100% of his feelings. Because again, I was really kind of side-eyeing him back when I heard some comments regarding Africa Bambaataa and his defending of Africa Bambaataa. Emmanuel, if you want a really good place or location to look up things regarding China, check out Simone Gao on YouTube. Simone Gao used to live in China. She no longer lives in China, but she does report on Chinese goings-ons, so to speak. And one of the things she reported so diligently was the C-19 situation and the questioning of whether or not COVID was released from a lab in Wuhan. There is a, what do they call it? A meat market, a Chinese meat market where all sorts of different types of animals are slaughtered and things like that. And they did find evidence of, C-19 being there amongst some of those animals. But listen, if you go in and do some really, really good research, number one, China hid the number of people that were actually dying from the virus every day. At one point, there were over 5,000 people that were dying daily. On top of that, over 21 million cell phone lines, numbers completely disappeared off of the Chinese telecommunication grids. China is very diligent about documenting things. And one of those things was documenting the number of cell phone lines that are produced in China every month. And a couple of months after COVID initially hit Wuhan and spread it out, there were over 20 million cell lines that just went off the grid, which means that many people potentially died in the first few months of the C-19 of the COVID virus. The other interesting thing too that Simone Gao has done is expose the original, exposing that stage 4 lab in Wuhan. There's only a few of those labs in the world. In China, Wuhan has one. It has been proven that the actual virus itself was documented, and that DNA of that virus was out circulating with other scientists months before it was even officially acknowledged. I mean, you all remember the COVID trackers? People were dying, and they were actually documenting the number of dead daily, and China's number never changed. Yeah. Definitely check her out when you get an opportunity. But let's finish listening to this. It's crazy.
We're selling the tapes. They were passing around people like you were passing around the blunt. That's how these people got down, Chyna. You can get Chyna. I'm telling you, I didn't have to see them all. I've seen one or two of them before, and I actually have been, like I said, around people who have experienced some of this nonsense, and it's not just
what experience got to do with this man. This
it has nothing to do with the Diddy party. That's for the elite. But when Diddy wanna, have a good time, you think he wasn't coming to the hood picking broads up? You think he wasn't picking broads up? You really want to believe that? You really think that they wasn't picking girls up, taking them shopping? So that you know what I'm saying? They can have a little way. And they give you a drink to pass you around.
Your own kind is the worst.
Yeah. It's the
I
worst.
like white people because white people don't stomp on each other the way us black and you are grown.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. That is a stupid reasoning. Just like white people stomp on each other, like black people stomp on each other, like brown people stomp on each other. Doesn't matter what color. But all I'm hearing is race card, race card, race card, race card. Which makes no sense to me. Diddy was bringing women, and this is in lawsuits that have been filed, from other states, man. The trafficking charges he's been charged with definitely correlate with the Mann Act, which is a very... It's not a law that's used very often. It tends to be reserved more so for really, really just heavy ass offenders. R. Kelly was also charged under the Mann Act. Listen, I don't think that criminal charges are even done. I think there's going to be another round very soon. I think that the district attorney, you mark my words on this, but I think the district attorney is going to make another press conference very soon. And I think he's going to announce even more charges. Not only did the lawsuit that Cassie filed against Diddy cause others to come out and file civil lawsuits, that also opened the door for federal authorities to talk to these people who feel wronged by Diddy for whatever reason. Now, again, I don't believe that every single person that's filed as being 100% honest. There's going to be, some in that group that I feel may not be being completely honest about what happened to them. And there was one lady whose lawyers actually fired her and said, "Hey, can't represent you, Chris. Hey, Chris Harris, can't represent you anymore. You doing too much and you are detrimental to this case that I'm trying to work, and I cannot represent you anymore." That just happened in one of the 120 plus accusers that have come out, right?
Use a woman. Use a grown woman. Use a grown woman. And you speaking on your own time like that.
Diddy had the streets on lock.
You speaking on your own time like that.
On lock. Chyna, you could get mad. It's a fact. You're not to cross Diddy in the street. Diddy look all soft. He look all little. But Diddy had them streets on flash in the 90s. You wouldn't dare say nothing about Diddy or you got dealt with. Okay? So this is not lies. You was kid, but I was outside. And if you was in the right circles, these
So
stories
basically,
coming around.
Diddy felt up on you then, or you seen it?
Oh heck no! I can't go for only one star. No Diddy, no Diddy with me.
Did you
Diddy
see him
wasn't
do
my
something?
type.
Miss Ray.
No, I've seen Diddy at
is
parties.
just all over the place. Chyna.
I know he gonna be all right.
Don't worry
and
about
all
Chyna.
those two people the people that don't want to believe, that's your choice. But you were talking to somebody who was outside during this time. And I'm telling you, the Bambaataa stories, the Diddy stories, the LL Cool J stories.
I believe he did it. I believe he did it. All this black man and all that. I believe he did it.
Yes, it's not about that. It's about the victims. Why did they wait so long? Because Diddy was to be spared.
Yeah.
Now he's not. They don't want to use him no more. I don't know what Diddy did to piss somebody off. I think it was the thing with trying to sue them people at the wine. You know, that big billionaire with the wine company. Whatever he did, he crossed the wrong person, and they giving it up because this is.
Well, here's another big problem, right? Yes, that is exactly who it is. Simone Gal. Yep, that's her. That's her name. She has a YouTube channel, and she does a lot of reporting on China and did a lot of breaking things down when it came to the lab in Wuhan. These tapes, again, remember what I said earlier. I would not be surprised if Diddy managed to tap into a revenue stream and was actually selling these tapes. It's also being reported that someone way more famous than Diddy is also on one of these tapes that's actually being shopped around in Hollywood. Who are some of these names? Well, famous producers, good to see you. I've heard Donald Trump. I've heard Leonardo DiCaprio. Talking about someone who's even more high profile. These tapes are being shopped around. Diddy did not have the capacity or capability to manage all of his IT needs by himself. He had someone that was assisting him. Diddy's not in there editing videos or, making videos from these tapes. He's not doing that alone. I'm really curious about what his IT director is going to have to say whenever he goes and testifies for the prosecution, because he's been named in several lawsuits. And you better believe, especially if he has a family, he's not going to go, if the federal authorities offer him a deal of, for immunity, he's going to get it. There is a plethora of people, of victims that the federales can tap on at this point. Diddy is done, as Chris Harris says. He's done. It's over. It's over.
Being covered for years and years. This is nothing new. If you was partying out there back then and you was with the who's, then you knew this information. It was buzzing, allegedly. Because, like I said, I wasn't at those parties. But to say that it's not true and say this is all cap, don't believe that. Because if they say you walk like a duck, you quack like a duck, then goddamn it, you're gonna be you a duck.
Salute.
You know what I mean? And that's the bottom line. Salute. Peace, Chyna. I still love you.
Love you too.
050 is the movement. Peace.
050. Listen.
Yeah.
Oh,
drug. That's what they saying. That's criminal, my dude.
Yo, that is different.
It was drugs, my
I
G.
never in my 43 years.
And when you think about it, it's like you get somebody a drink and you say you gotta drink it or you getting up out of here.
Somebody got their anal torn on TV. I never in my life seen a lawyer talk like that.
No, that be look, Chyna.
It's false.
He did that.
Listen,
he did that, bro. He did that, bro.
Listen,
bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not even saying allegedly at this point, man.
Did you see any paperwork? Did you see the affidavits?
Nah, he did this, Chyna.
I did. I seen him. Yeah, he only has 3 charges right now. I think that's going to change. I think that this is going to be a superseding indictment that's going to come down. That's just my professional guess. But definitely keep your eyes peeled. I think that, because listen, the grand jury is still reviewing potential charges against him right now. The grand jury is still in session in New York City for Diddy. I truly think that in the very, very near future, we're going to see that assistant district attorney on TV again, doing another press conference announcing additional charges. Mark my word. He's going to announce additional charges in a superseding indictment in which Sean Diddy Combs will be charged with more crimes.
Yeah, Chyna, you gotta stop this, bro. Like this is unbecoming of you. Chyna, this is very unbecoming of you. I know you're ghetto. Chyna, I know you're ghetto. I know you don't. Diddy, I'm not saving it because he's a black man. Chyna, I'm sorry, bro.
Did anybody in the chat see the medical affidavits? I want to know.
Man.
The medical affidavit. Okay. Why would we need a medical affidavit? Did you see the affidavits that were filed in which the authorities said they had over 90 devices, including cloud storage accounts, phones, laptops, tablets? When the federal authorities kicked in Diddy's door, they already had a case against him. That was just icing on the cake. Believe that. They hit him coast to coast the same exact day/time. He's going so hard for Diddy, and I don't understand why. I don't know. It's weird. But again, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Thank God, right?
I'm gonna call Bimmy for the medical affidavits.
He might have it. He might have it.
His torn. Bring it on down, if you understand what I'm saying. But anyway, I like you for that. Do you believe that he touched on them while they parents was there? Do you believe that?
No.
Thank you.
No. It's so funny that
Chyna,
every time
you got the recording of them saying about it. Do you got the recording about that?
Yeah.
All right. We ain't play it yet. Okay. We're gonna
Harlow, let me ask you. What's the worst thing you could put on a black man that he messed with kids? Once you do that, it's over. The only person
Diddy was out of control. I believe he couldn't control himself.
But he was out of control himself.
Look what they did to Michael Jackson. The first thing they do is you mess with kids because they know that's going to destroy.
Chyna's going off for just because he's a black man. I'm not going off that. I'm not going
bullshit.
off
that. That's some bullshit.
Because you would throw your own con under the bus.
There's plenty black men with money.
And miss me with all of that shit that he's talking. Throwing your own kind under the bus. No, Diddy's kind consists of pedophiles, people that sexually assault other people that record other people without their consent, people that drug other people without their consent. Did you all remember seeing the video of Justin Bieber in front of Odell Beckham standing next to Diddy? These charges and that are swirling, these accusations, they're only going to continue to grow. Diddy has had decades to cause what all this damage, so to speak. He's had so many years, and the reason why he's been protected all of this time is because he has friends in high places, right? So, it's really not a stretch to draw any parallel between Diddy's case and that of notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Talking about copious amounts of money, a long list of powerful friends, and a culture of celebrity silence. And it makes for a very potent combination. These allegations against Sean Combs continue to pile up. Lawsuits continue to be filed. Okay. And that's just what it is. Let's listen to this last little minute here.
Not as flamboyant and they trying to put themselves out there on the front lines.
That we know about. That we know about.
No, I'm talking about black men that's rich, that get money and don't want to put themselves on the front line. See, is there such thing as laying low? Salute. Welcome to 050 The Movement. State your claim.
Yo, what's good? Far Rock in the building. Yo, salute.
Salute to the whole Far Rock, man. What's popping, my G?
Yeah, hey, listen, I just want to say this real quick, man. A lot of people, at the end of the day, molestation, meaning, look around the world, bro. It's like kids I'm talking about minors. I just say minors, no matter what age. Get molested, things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's an everyday occurrence. What makes Diddy any different, bro? It's like at the end of the day, you had Epstein Island, you had this, you had that. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
shut up!
I believe, real
Shut
talk.
up! You didn't see it! Shut up! Shut up!
Yo, Chyna, come on, Lord. Yo, come on, Lord.
Yo. You didn't see.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying though, I believe that shit. Yo, Harlem. I believe it. That nigga touched the kid, and that's it. Salute, 050 The Move.
Say it correct. Don't just jump on here and say
he got up out of there. Yeah, Chyna, why you chasing anybody off the phone, man?
Because he talking stupid. And everybody know I don't play. When you say something, I'm on you, huh?
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein.
Jaguar had a lot to say about Diddy and Jay-Z on Piers Morgan's show last night. I don't know if you all got to see it, but definitely check it out when you get a chance. But listen, you all, before I get up out of here, allow me to pay a few bills if you don't mind. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
Listen, shout out to those of you on X. There's over like 120 of you all watching, and it's just crazy how on, you know, some platforms, you can just see when a content creator is being shadow banned, right? Definitely happens. But I got to get up off of here. I got a lot of noise happening in the background, so I got to get up off. I appreciate you all coming through. I will be live later on tonight, so make sure you tune in and subscribe to the platform. Thanks, guys.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart like I am.